Oh boy, I think this has to be a topic. Um, and here's all I'm gonna say. It really seems like Gareth Southgate is thirsty for the fucking bag, thirsty for the Saudi Arabia bag. If you can see it here, what are we saying? Nobody should go to Newcastle, or nobody should be working for a company the Saudis own. I get the argument. I understand why the LGBTQ plus community have a strong view on it. Gareth Southgate insists Henderson is not a hypocrite after moving to Saudi Arabia. Here's all I'm going to say to that. We don't have to delegate a lot of that stuff, okay? Whether you think Saudi Arabia is good or bad, it's just it's just something that keeps coming up, right? Yada yada. People are sellouts. People aren't. People are allowed to make their money. Yada yada yada. Okay, we know all that stuff. But there was groups specifically at Jordan Henderson. Nobody else has caught any grief about it. Okay, nobody else but Jordan Henderson. And the reason why Jordan Henderson has caught grief is because he said that he was standing up for the rights, and when it came down to it, in Qatar he didn't, and now he's joining the Saudis. Okay, so sent you something couldn't be more true. All right, I'm gonna check it right now. So that's all I'm gonna say is that it does seem like he is a hypocrite because he didn't stand up when he had the chance in Qatar, and he didn't stand up by joining Saudis, who are directly, putting the LGBTQ plus community in danger. Okay, so I think two things can be true. You know that old saying? I think he can be a hypocrite. I think he clearly is a hypocrite. Okay, but I always tend to back players in the sense that you have a finite fucking career and you have to make the most. Get the biggest bag you fucking can. I am absolutely all for that. That's not a problem. The problem is that if I were to say I would never sell out, and what's something I would do? I would, again, anybody can try to sponsor me. If I say betting is bad, you shouldn't bet. People who are taking, that's just the worst, whatever. And then, DraftKings comes at me and I join the company. Or, whatever, they hire me or would sponsor me or whatever the case might be. That's being a hypocrite. Okay? Whether it's not like, oh, you should, you know what, he's a small streamer. He should be able to take sponsorships. Yes, of course I should. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm making this one point and then I directly contradict it, that's hypocritical. Like, there's no way around it. That's hypocritical. That really is. So again, nobody's demanding he return the money. Nobody's demanding he stay in Liverpool. They're just saying accurately, I think, he's a hypocrite. But let's see what Southgate says.
What he believes in. So now we're in a really complex world where what are we saying? Nobody should go to Newcastle, or nobody should go for one of the many companies that the Saudis own in London, or we shouldn't buy oil from the Saudis,
See, that's the thing. Again, I mean,
So-
you can kind of put, there's not this one. Jordan Henderson is in charge of none of those things. Jordan Henderson is in charge of none of that. He's not in charge of where you get oil from. He's not in charge of how companies conduct their business, how countries conduct their business. Nobody's saying that. But he clearly went against what he stated. That's it. And I think that that's fair to say. And I love Jordan Henderson too. I see that you love Henderson. I love him too, and I think he's a great guy. And I don't blame him for getting the bag. Get the bag, King. All right? Get it. But I think it's undeniable that he's a hypocrite.
I think it's very complicated. I completely understand the argument
It
of,
is.
you've supported the LGBTQ community, and I can understand why they would have a really strong view on it. I think it's so difficult to say, it is
Because he unfortunately, yeah, exactly. Because he got like his salary, tax free, like quadrupled, like 100%. I'm telling you, bro. I do not blame him at all. I don't blame any player. You have X amount of career, make the most of it, please.
Henderson saying he doesn't support that community anymore. Well, no, he isn't. But of course, people are going to say his actions are, the reverse of that. So, look, in the end, it's hard for me to answer. I'm not the one that's taken that decision. he at some point, I'm sure, is going to need to explain that decision. Will be interviewed as to what his thinking was, why, how he feels about it. And in the end, everybody's got to be responsible for the decisions that they make in their life. It's not for me to judge. I wouldn't judge either of you on where you worked or what you did. I'd have a view, but you've got to be comfortable with your own decisions when you put your head on the pillow.
I feel like saying I have a view is like, again, because a judgment and a view is like similar. You know what I'm saying? It kind of similar. I don't know. Gonna have to try and get some food back in like 2. All right, for sure. Let's do it. Yeah, get back and we'll get it, bro. We will get it. I feel like it's similar. View and judgment. I mean, they're cousins. You know what I'm saying? They're lazy cousins. Like, there's no other way to say it. What is a view? If you have a negative view, that's a judgment. What's the difference there? I think, like, this is what makes him likable. Is like he's such a good like politician about this. Again, it is very complicated, and you can't just like say one way or another. And Henderson's gonna live his life, bro. Henderson's gonna live his life.
Below, and what that means for you, your family, and where else you can go. And I think players have a lot to consider. Clearly, finance in this situation has been a huge factor. There's no escaping that for all of the players that have got.
So he's just acknowledged. Let me get this straight. I would, ironically. He has just acknowledged that he made statements like pro LGBT, right? And then he went to somewhere that doesn't support LGBT, like, to be generous, does not support LGBTQ plus rights. So he's already said that, but he threw in that's not me though. I don't know. And then he says, it's for the money. It's hard to turn down the money. No shit. Nobody's blaming him for that. That's the thing that always gets me, is like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. There will be consequences. There's consequences to every fucking thing. There's consequences for everybody.
Gone there.
Yeah.
The league wouldn't be attracting the level of players it has without the finance.
So that's video number 1, and there's also another one. Let me see if I can zip through it real quick. But I think they ask him about pretty specifically. No, I don't care about that. Pretty specifically. No, not that. Sorry. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, that was about the Henderson thing. For some reason, I spoke with Jordan Henderson about the national team. I don't really care about that much. Damn, he talks about that too. Let me see. Okay, well, I can't find it right now, so that's fine. But he also talks about the Saudi league in general and the level of talent that they're attracting, basically. And he's saying that it's interesting stuff. And I truly do think that it is as well. But he definitely seems like he wants to leave that door open, because they are handing out treasure troves of cash. And I think Gareth Southgate, just being the good politician that he is, just wants to leave every door open. Listen, I respect that as well. I like that. That's totally fine. I get that. But he's leaving the door open for the Saudi league. So we'll see what he does, but that's kind of like the bit about Jordan Henderson. Let me know what you think. I think, like I said, I think it's fair to call him a hypocrite. I really do. Does that make him a good person or a bad person? You know, I think we're all hypocritical at some point in life. You know, nobody's perfect. And does this kind of make you look down on Henderson? Does it not? You know, let me know. Let me know what you think.